We're in Vermont, which was the last of the lower 48.
Yes, today we get to check Vermont off the list because over the next 8 days, we're going to explore the Green Mountain State. It is going to be a fun ride by car, gondola, and even plane, not to mention experiencing a kaleidoscope of foliage. I'm riding with my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV. Yeah. Here we are, Pine Hollow Campground in the southwestern corner of Vermont. And from here, we're going to start exploring the Green Mountain State. A little greener than I had anticipated. We're very close to Bennington, and from here we're kind of gonna start zigzagging and crisscrossing our way across the state. It is getting late, and we are tired from a very long drive, so all the exploration will begin tomorrow. Pine Hollow here seems very nice. Too bad we're not gonna be able to enjoy all the amenities, not only because of our tight schedule, but we're also kind of at the end of the season here. First impressions about Vermont? I like it. More mountainous than I was expecting. Here's our first point of interest. Bennington Battle Monument, which commemorates a battle that occurred on August 16th, 1777. It is 306 feet tall. From the top, you can allegedly see 3 states, which I assume would be New York, Massachusetts, and of course, Vermont. The Battle of Bennington is considered to be the turning point in the Revolutionary War.
Well, this was by definition an epic fail because the main reason we came here was to go all the way to the top of the monument, which supposedly affords some of the best views in Vermont. Not to mention it is the highest man-made structure in the whole state. But as I say sometimes, I usually say, well, maybe we'll be back. They don't know exactly when they're going to reopen, so we're going to continue. We're going to take now Highway 7A north. We might cruise around Bennington a little bit where we are and then continue north.
Bennington here, not a bad-looking town, and I see a brewery on the corner, so we might come back later. The town dates back to 1749, named after colonial governor Benning Wentworth. Let's fill up, because today is going to be a long drive.
Well, 304, not a bad price in Vermont, and that's like a pump from the early 90s, you know, before you could pay at the pump. But super nice, folks. It's like a mechanic shop, and you just go. You pump first, and then you pay, which is unusual these days.
The plan today is to drive State Route 7A, also known as the Shires of Vermont Scenic Byway. In Vermont, each county has one shire, or county seat, except for Bennington County here, which has 2, Bennington and Manchester, and the 7A here links those 2 shires, hence the name. But before we get on the 7A proper, let's make a quick detour to see a covered bridge. 10 feet 6 inches. Minitini 1 would have made it. Okay, let's turn around. It is called Silk Road Bridge and dates back to 1840. It spans the Walloomsac River, connecting downtown Bennington with North Bennington.
This episode is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. And let me tell you what a VPN is. It stands for Virtual Private Network. And what it does, it creates a secure private connection between all your devices and the internet and the cloud. So if you're going to connect to an insecure network, it is always a good practice to go through a VPN, and that way, you know, you don't run the risk of someone stealing your passwords or installing malware on your machine, that kind of thing. It has other features. One of my favorite features is that you can change your location virtually. For example, if you want to access content that is only available in a certain part of the world. You can basically teleport yourself virtually to that spot, and that's really cool. It has a clean web feature that gets rid of unwanted ads or spyware, and it also has another feature where you can do a real incognito search, and that could be useful sometimes. Now, to get Surfshark, just go to surfshark.deals/myrv and enter promo code MyRV, and you'll get 83% off and 3 months for free.
One of the things Vermont is known for is maple syrup. So how about we try some maple products? The Sugar Shack here comes highly recommended. They have all kinds of local Vermont products.
Well, this is what they call a maple creamy, and we got some cider donuts. So, cheers.
Good thing
That's delicious.
And here they have a movie and the machine where they make the syrup. It would be really cool to see it in action. It is fall, so naturally they have pumpkins, and I can see our next point of interest. Actually, it is engulfed in the clouds, so I can't really see it now, can I? That would be Mount Equinox. The Skyline Drive we're about to enter is the longest privately owned paved toll road in the United States. A whole $20 to ride the 5 miles to the top. Let's stop and see the view from here because I have a feeling there will be no view from the top. It is engulfed in the clouds. Here's a pretty nice view. Now we're getting into the clouds, so let's enjoy possibly our last view here. This would be the monastery overlook. There it is, the charter house of the Transfiguration of the Carthusian Order, here in the solitude afforded by this remote valley in the shadow of Equinox Mountain, the highest peak in the Taconic Range. Here we are, up inside the cloud. Yeah, visibility is definitely going to be a problem. And here we are, we've made it to the St. Bruno's Scenic Viewing Center.
Well, yeah, I'm sure on a clear day, the views would be spectacular, right? Just so we can imagine the view.
All pieces at a hike because it'd be interesting to see.
Inside, there's a museum with information about the Carthusians, some artifacts, their history. Very interesting. I was not expecting this. By the way, it is very windy up here.
Fascinating.
Going down, a little scarier than going up. You have to use low gear and make sure you don't ride on your brakes. The reduced visibility doesn't help matters either, but we're almost out of the clouds. And it looks like the leaves are starting to turn ever so slightly. Too bad it is a little bit of a cloudy, gloomy day, but the sunshine will be back. It's just a matter of time. In fact, all of a sudden, the sun wants to come out. Isn't that something? This here is the road to Lincoln's Hill Dean, the former summer home of Robert Todd Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's son, and his wife, Mary Harlan Lincoln. Built at the turn of the 20th century. And we were thinking of visiting, but on the other hand, it is getting kind of late, so let's continue exploring. We are not really in the museum mood today, and there's no way to get closer to the house unless you park and pay. And it is our first full day here in Vermont, so we're going to keep on going north. It is a narrow road to get out, and someone's going the wrong way. Our next stop will be Manchester. Here we are, Manchester, and the lavish Equinox Resort, one of Vermont's few surviving 19th century grand hotels. We're not gonna do a whole lot here in Manchester. There was a picture-perfect lake we had seen online and wanted to visit, but apparently it is on private property and you have to hike to it. And let's face it is not a picture-perfect day either. And to be honest, we just couldn't find it. There's also Lye Brook Falls, but we didn't come prepared for the 4.5-mile hike, so we're going to head north, up to Killington, from where we're going to start on our way back south on a different route. Also a famous scenic drive. It's starting to look like fall up here. Here we are, Killington in the Green Mountains. It is mostly famous for being a ski resort town. The Appalachian Trail also cuts through here. Check it out, Lookout Tavern. It is time for lunch.
Lookout Tavern must be this. That looks like a tavern. And the mountain is back there, but you can't really see it. Let's go eat, we're starving.
I don't think this is it. Oh, this is it. We didn't get to do much here, but at least we got to see some fall colors and sample the local Fiddlehead IPA. Yes, this is actually the first real fall colors we've seen since we arrived in Vermont. And I'm sure there's more to come. The gondola doesn't seem to be in operation right now. That would have been a cool thing to do. We're going back south on State Route 100, which is another legendary scenic drive here in Vermont. been a very long drive today, so I think tomorrow we're just gonna make it a work day and then we're gonna move to a different campground. It is time for another RV cooking show. We're gonna make some pasta with meat sauce, but first we're gonna chop some onions and green peppers and some garlic. Actually, lots of garlic. Some olive oil while we finish mincing the garlic. Let's do the onions first. Salt, pepper, the green peppers, and we'll start boiling the pasta. And the camera battery died, but I added the usual paprika, oregano, cumin, cooking wine, and the tomato sauce. Some Parmesan cheese. It's al dente. Let's drain, mix, and eat. On the road again, on the way to another area of Vermont. This time we're going to be staying at Quechee State Park. It is a little bit of a rainy day, but we won't let it dampen our spirits. Northern US 7, Eastern Vermont 11, and eventually we're gonna take Interstate 91 north up to White River Junction. Here, by the town of Chester, we're taking Vermont 103, and then the interstate. Of course, I drove past the entrance because I'm paying more attention to the Google lady than my own eyes. Luckily, there's an empty parking lot here so we can turn around, and it seems like a decent restaurant for one of these nights. By the way, very quick and efficient check-in system. Now all we have to do is find our campsite. Here's a dump station on the right-hand side, which we might use on the way out. And it is very beautiful here. Seems very secluded. I think this is it, right next to the trail.
Hello everybody, we just made it to, I believe it is pronounced Quechee, although I've heard Quechee as well, so I don't know, and you know me, but there's hardly anybody here. There's a camper that just arrived there. We have pretty much the campground all to ourselves. Look at this place, is beautiful. We're in the middle of the forest, very quiet, and back there, I mean, I don't know if that's the gorge proper, but let me show you. It's like a precipice. Look at that. It's a long way down if we were to fall. And right here, right next to us, is the Gorge Trail. So that's probably what we're gonna take tomorrow, because today it's very cloudy and very dark here, but it's gonna start raining any minute. It's not too cold. We turned on the furnace because, you know, to get the chill out of the air in there. But yeah, this is the Quechí Gorge Trail, which is half a mile. So it should be easy. We'll do that tomorrow as soon as it stops raining. And then up to Montpellier, the capital, and Burlington. I'm gonna unhitch now and get some work done. By the way, dry camping here, no hookups whatsoever. We're allowed to do the generator 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening, in the afternoon. But I think this is gonna be a good test of all the you know, the new systems here on the FLX prototype. So I'll let you know how it goes. I really like this place. It's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. By the way, the trees are still green here, but we've seen beautiful fall colors on the way here. Well, yeah, in my experience, even with the most sophisticated power systems, sometimes on a cloudy day like this, especially here in the middle of the forest, you do need to fire up an internal combustion generator, so I recommend you have one. I've had this Champion for a long time. The battery died years ago, so I now have to crank it by hand, but still works. All right, we're gonna go for a little hike here, and this trail is the Quechí Gorge Trail, half a mile, and it goes, I think it goes to the gorge and then to the visitor center right here. I believe we're going to be seeing blue blazes all along. Just another walk in the woods. I wonder if they're edible. And there's Minitini, right there at the trailhead. This side, that big drop that is right next to our campsite, and I have a feeling we're gonna be going down in elevation here real soon. Down and down we go. The only thing about going downhill is that eventually you have to go back up.
Not full-blown colors, but a few trees here and there are getting the memo that colder weather is coming.
We have a bridge over not very troubled waters. It's just a creek. Now we have a little bit of an uphill here. Yeah, that seems to be the Gorge Trail. Alright, let's go down to the river.
And there it is, the famous Quechí Gorge. Now we have to hike all the way up to that bridge.
I hear water. I think there's a waterfall there. Oh yeah, this might have been the highlight of the whole trail. Let's go all the way to the end, but there's supposed to be another overlook. Probably in the middle of the dam over there. That's probably what it is. By the way, I met with some viewers right now, so thank you. Gorgeous.
Check it out, I think that's where we were just a few minutes ago. I have a feeling in a few days the colors are going to be amazing. Timing is everything, huh?
Hello, little friend. What kind of lagartija are you? Amazing. The local fauna here in Vermont. And there's Minitini. Minitini 3, that is. We are going to Woodstock. It is supposed to be beautiful there, so let's do it.
Here we are once again crossing Quechí Gorge, and the idea is maybe have a late lunch, do a little hike, although I've been reliably informed this area is best visited when the fall colors are peaking, and we're still a few days away from that, at least in this area. Here we are, Woodstock, population 3005. The town dates back to 1761. It actually became very prosperous during the Industrial Revolution, and nowadays its main source of revenue is tourism. It is a charming small town, especially this area, bustling with activity, and we're getting hungry, so maybe we can have something to eat later. This park here on the left is called The Green, and we're gonna go under a covered bridge. Before exploring the town, we're going to stop by Marsh Billings Rockefeller National Historical Park, although I think the parking lot is somewhere else. Oh, here it is, at the Billings Farm Museum. Those are some beautiful trees, sporting early colors. Here we are. The visitor center is closed at the time of our visit, but we'll see if we can at least walk around a little bit.
Well, it looks like we're a couple of weeks too early to fully experience these trails, so we're gonna be in the area for about another 10 days, so we might come back, who knows. Now let's go eat.
Pathways through the forest, that's the trail map. Had the colors been brighter, had we brought more water, or being less hungry, we would have done some of them. There's a trail that goes to a lake that is supposed to be very picturesque. Let's go back.
Fine food and spirits.
We've got some very old houses here. Let's walk towards the Otaquiche River, which we already saw at the gorge.
Yeah, they've got the better backyard for sure. Here we are on the other side.
I wonder what that is. Let's go back to downtown and see if we can find something to eat.
Wow, 1808. All these houses are very old. 1820s, 1830s, 1808 this one. So this has been here for a while. Let's go downtown. Maybe we'll find something to eat. It seems to be an odd time of the day because most of the restaurants are closed at 4 p.m. So we're gonna try one place here and then we'll see.
Tell you what, I think we're gonna go back to that public house right across the road from the state park. I think that's gonna be our best bet. Maybe next time our timing will be better, because besides the river and the old picturesque houses, we weren't really feeling Woodstock today. I think it deserves another chance.
Fresh food, craft beer. Yeah, they had me at craft beer. We decided to come right here to the public houses right across the road from the campground. So let's see what they have. Now hiring. Cheers.
The cod looks really good, and so does the maple white chocolate cheesecake. Well, good morning. Even though we're going to a full hookup site today, let's stop by the dump station and take care of things. Today we're going to Burlington, Vermont's most populous city. We're also gonna stop by Montpelier, the state capital, along the way to take care of a few things on Minitini 3. It is such a beautiful drive. I guess the farther north, the better it gets. As I mentioned, we're stopping here at Country Camper in Montpelier to get some things taken care of in our Flex prototype. By the way, they provided great service, especially Roger, and I would totally recommend them if you are in the Montpelier, Vermont area. Now, off to Burlington, and eventually Stowe. We may even come back to Montpelier, but more about that on the next episode. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and see you on the road. I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, and 'cause I'm free in my RV. Yeah, I'm riding, I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV. Yeah.